selectively and on the basis of the disparities that are in the world, where evidence, facts, even what is right don't really matter. What matters is what somebody else must say, irrespective of whether what they are saying takes into consideration facts, evidence, or truth. You know, the problem we have in our region, in Eastern Congo, that has brought in so many countries to be part of it from our continent, but there have been even more countries from outside of our continent involved in one way or another, and unfortunately, many times the wrong way. And this wrong way, we are told, must be the one to prevail. Now, let me start with saying, if you want to really address a problem, there is no better way of doing that than bothering to look at and addressing the root cause of that problem. It doesn't matter how powerful you are. You just stick to the basics of facts, of evidence, of reality. You just don't come in because you're powerful and, the evidence is simple. We have heard the UN, the peacekeepers under the UN in that country for close to 3 decades. The continued presence for 3 decades, when they went there to address problems, means there are still problems to address, or that actually the first problems to address were not addressed. Otherwise, why would you stay in a place purportedly to address a problem, and you are there for close to 30 years? Normally you would come in, maybe it takes you 5 years, maybe it takes you 10, and you would exit because you would have addressed the problem that brought you. So what are the returns for that investment of such a big force under such a big body like UN, and so much money spent on that? What is the return on that investment, other than continuing to have problems getting worse? That also shows, or maybe prove, this will prove why Rwanda has to carry the burden of this problem. It is a way of escaping responsibility. That's the shortest, easiest answer when people ask, why have you been there for this time and you still want to be there? It means you didn't address the problem. So the easiest answer is no. But Rwanda keeps being part of the problem. Well, what that means, maybe you should get rid of Rwanda, to find a way of removing it from the map of, just find a way, like it happened 30 years ago. Rwanda was being destroyed to the point we should not be existing anymore. And again, associated with that, the very people who murdered people here in Rwanda, those who carried out the genocide, still exist, are still armed, are still practicing their ideology of genocide in our neighborhood in Eastern Congo, supported by government, supported by leaders in that place, on the watch of this international community that talks about values, that talks about interests, that deployed this UN force into Congo to actually eradicate, among others, that problem that originated from here, be it the genociders or the ideology itself. And people do it with impunity. And then arguments start. We have had arguments, again, through different quarters of this international community. Oh, you mean these FDLR, these genociders, but are they there? Are they still there? But we are told they are few. We are told, when you say, no, but you see it even in broad daylight. The statements made by government leaders. And you are wondering whether they still exist, whether they are there, or what they are doing, or you pretend for 30 years, you can pretend. Now the problem becomes, oh, Rwanda is in Congo, you have forces in Congo, you are occupying Congo, you are doing what? In this day and age, and even with Rwanda, its capacity, are we people who can actually do that? That limited capacity of ours, but even why? Why do you? What came first? Is it this problem that we have to deal with? Threats, daily threats, regular threats against our country and relating to our history? Or because of that, or in addition to that, we now want to become people who can go and occupy places? Really, the people, can they convince anybody that they even believe it, or they are using it simply as an excuse? Even if you believe it, why don't you find a way of denying Rwanda this excuse and remove these people from there? Because that is even in the mission that took there the UN peacekeepers. What happened? So then, talking about ourselves I leave many others out of this continent outside of it.